Hello and welcome to our season preview for Formula One 2016. Today we're going to be talking about tyres, and there's been some big changes this year. Pirelli are now bringing 3 compounds to each race, and so for example in the first race in Australia they're now bringing the medium, the soft and the super soft, and that's going to change things up. One of the other things that changed is that drivers now have some input into what tyres are coming for the weekend. So Pirelli will be mandating the softest set for each weekend for use in Q3. They will then allocate two tyres for the race. The rest of the tyres are free choice out of the 13 sets that the driver gets for a weekend. So that's going to be interesting to see how the teams and drivers can bring different sets of tyres to make that work for their car and for their strategy. One way that we might see this playing out is different teams such as Ferrari bringing softer tyre compounds, because we've seen historically over the last few years that Ferrari had a tyre life advantage. Regularly for them, they've found that they can go faster with the softer compounds compared to their competitors in recent years. But that's something that Ferrari are probably going to be using to their advantage in 2016. The races that they won last year were all due to tyres, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for this year. We might see this play out for drivers too rather than teams. So we know that Sergio Perez is obviously very good at making the tyres last. He's regularly run races with a stop less than Nico Hülkenberg as a teammate, even just than the rest of the field. His podium last year in Russia was in part down to how well he can make the tyres last. The option to pick harder tyres to make his job easier of trying to stretch them out, or to pick softer tyres and make them for last longer than the opposition, is going to be interesting to see how that plays out too. Something that I'm really looking forward to though is going to be if we get a situation something like the USA last year, and I'm not talking about the red flag in qualifying and all of that, but the situation was that there was basically no dry running until the race. Throughout practice and qualifying, drivers had been on the intermediate tyre at best, and so when they changed to the slick tyres in the race, they hadn't done any dry running. When that's come up previously, it's been interesting to compare going to the option or the prime. Now we're going to have 3 choices, so it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. We're talking about drivers having some input into what tyres they have. I don't actually see them having all that much input. It's like their race strategy. They will have some input. They'll be part of that conversation. But ultimately, the primary race strategy is going to be decided for them and defined by a committee of strategists, and then they're just going to have to go out there and deal with it. That's the way that race strategy works, and the tyre strategy and allocation surely just feeds into that even more so. So let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts about how the changes to the tyres are going to impact the races this year? And thanks for watching.